It's a new week. Rise and sparkle. Right here, you would always find us. We are Enterprise Television, and you're watching Enterprise Morning. I am Henry.
And I'm Chioma Okoye.
All right, in a bit, we'll be going to our newspaper headlines to see all that we have for you this morning. And right after that, in the GV would be, conversation also for today. So I will get everything all sorted out for you. Please do well to be part of our community. Have a say in what we say. We are at Enterprise TV News.com, and also like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. With us today in the studios to do justice to our newspaper headlines, Barrister Vansu Feli, a barrister law and public affairs analyst, and Olusegun Okwade, a chartered accountant and public affairs commentator. Good morning to you, gentlemen.
Good morning.
And welcome. Happy weekday. Yes. All right, so let's kickstart our newspaper headlines today with the Force Daily. What do we have to?
Yeah, we'll be starting with the Punch newspaper. The big story here. Marketers plan petrol import as NNPCL. Dangote stocks drag. We have about 2 riders to that particular story. Petrol dealers to meet Dangote overpricing uncertainty over NNPC's September 15 PMS lifting. Ipman laments as NNPC delays supply as depot. Pump prices nears 1,250 naira in states.
And also on the top strip of the same newspaper, we have a group sues Lagos state government over $100 million Dangote land deal.
Okay, this is a sad story. 48 passengers, 50 cars killed in Niger tanker fire.
And also on the bottom strip of the same newspaper, we have over 1,000 soldiers resigned from army in 4 years, and that's a report you would find right there.
On the Punch.
Yes, on the Punch
still on the
newspaper.
bottom strip. Europe-bound cocaine consignment intercepted in sanitary parts. Details are on page 5.
Beautiful. So let's get into the crux of the matter here. The big story: marketers plan petrol import as NNPCL Dangote talk a drag. I'd love to start with you, Barrister Vansu Feli, on this particular matter. Of course, it's no longer news that Dangote is bringing out his PMS to the open market, and of course, the talk between him and NNPC dragging on pricing and all. But the marketers are saying that if this continues, they might look elsewhere. What does this mean for Nigerians?
Well, if they have the capacity to look elsewhere, because before Dangote's emergence, they were actually looking elsewhere, but their handicap is the forest to get it from elsewhere. And that was why Dangote has been the sole importer all the while, because NNPC have been the sole importer all the while because they could access the forest easily. Okay. But the truth is that the PMS must be available, whether from Dangote or from elsewhere, because the economy cannot move without PMS. It's established. So if the independent marketers are saying that they have capacity to go look elsewhere to get this, that's a good news. That would be good news for Nigerians, because before now, the independent marketers have been buying from NNPCLs. Yes. So what is causing the obstruction now? Is it just because of Dangote overnight? Then the country should be at standstill.
You say good news. Good news with the new pricing. How does that look like a good news?
Well, new pricing is tied to landing costs. Okay. The question about the price is the fault of the federal government or the NNPCL that have failed to put the indigenous refineries to work. Okay. Dangote just came on. We cannot begin to look at Dangote as the solution to the problem, especially when it has its own problems. Yeah. We can only say that it should be allowed to sell to independent marketers. There's a talk ongoing now, right? And before now, we had that news that the NNPC is going to be a sole distributor of it. You understand? And in the middleman, one of our jurors told us that perhaps Dangote, NNPC want to subsidize it. That is why they are the sole. But that is not an official statement from NNPCL. It's not. So the fear now is, the moment you hear that, we're saying, why should they be the sole purchaser? Because they didn't add to the fact that we're a sole purchaser because we need to put subsidy on it so that you can get it at a lower cost. But the NNPCL I know today is now a private company. One of the objectives of a private company is profit making. Is it because the NNPCL keep usurping the power of the downstream, upstream regulatory commission, which is to regulate the administration. Okay, but if we keep looking at NNPCL as one public corporation that is out there for the interest of the public, we're getting it wrong. Because they said they are owing, and now they have increased the price to enable them offset. That's the reason they gave for this scarcity, right? So they need to increase the price now to enable them offset the debt, even though they told us that they made profit before. So we don't know where to go.
Okay.
But the truth is that whether they made profit, they are in profit or out of profit or loss, business about profit and loss, they should allow for us to have PMS. Because we speak now, this PMS landed in the country for going to 5 days now. I don't know if you've seen it in the news. There's a delay which the marketers are complaining of, the independent marketers. There's a delay. So the thing is just there. It's not offloaded. We don't know why it's just on the sea. And then we don't have the product.
Thank you, Barrister Vasifili. Sheson Kwade, you are a financial expert, and I want to actually read out the statement of the spokesperson for the NNPC.
Do they have a spokesperson?
Olufemi Sunoye. He said on Saturday that it would not buy Dangote PMS unless it was cheaper than that of the international market. Now, that is the confusion here. From the Punch newspaper here, that is what he said. They won't buy except it's cheaper. And now, Dangote, as at last week, said it's waiting for the NNPC to come buy it off and they're looking at 15th September. And the IPMAN, that's the independent marketers now, are saying they are looking at importing. With all this, should I say, confusion going on, where does that leave the citizens and how do we see this affecting Nigerians very well?
Thank you very much, Choma. This confusion will always be there because of the greed of individuals. You'll be shocked that tomorrow Dangote will export the same product out and will now ship it in so that people can do it. That's an everything individual. They will frustrate him locally and he will move it to a country nearby and will go to that same country, maybe like Ghana or West African country, and go and buy that. Because you see, I said it the other time that our value proposition is negative, not even zero. Because what every individual is out there to do is what do I gain for myself, and not about the citizen or the people around you in this issue. For me, if before now we've been importing some of this product, and I want to put this across to Dangote, can we have what it looks like that you want to sell this thing without just concealing it alone and saying it's about you and NNPCL? That's what is giving me so much worry to say certain set of people wants to sit down, agree to the pricing for what will benefit individual and not for the masses. And that's what he as a good businessman is only trying to play safe. Because when you don't put those people, you see the most difficult set of people you can work with are government officials. When they are out there to frustrate you, even when you have the best thing to offer, they can frustrate you that business will go grounded and it will not survive. That's what we've seen in our own government-owned refinery, because certain set of individuals are out there to make sure that we don't have that working so that they can continue to benefit from the largesse of importing some of those products. You see, this confusion will continue to linger if there is no system that exposes some of the operations in the oil and gas sector. What is actually the cost of production on your part? What are you even suggesting as the selling price? What are we coming up to say if Dangote do not sell below the cost of importation? We're already saying that the cost of production for Dangote will be higher. On what premise? On what premise are we having it higher? Because we are expecting that it should be a lot cheaper, knowing well that we've sold crude to you in Naira. You are selling to us in Naira. There's nothing like cost of freight to bring it down. The insurance level definitely is now being localized. So I see no reason why we should be buying above. And we've come to say, okay, if the landing cost from what they told us, you see, before now, all these seconds of you covering up certain things, we were told that there was no subsidy. That gives us a respite that the cost of bringing those products was less than 600 naira at that point in time. Just to be here that it's no longer subsidy, is short for. Now it's about 1,000. Okay, if it is 1,112, what is actually the production cost on the part of Dangote? How much is he even suggesting that he wants to sell? Rather than we coming, you see, there are times we throw this thing and look at the way we handle the president jet. Three were seized, 2 are now, confiscated, and the one to be used was released. There are times you throw this thing out for people's reaction. Why are you coming out to say the cost of Dangote, if he's not selling below the landing cost, you're not going to buy, of which we all know, when you put those things together, maybe the initial cost of operation might be high. If he has it high, maybe in the next 2-3 production, we can start having it ready. But there is still sketchy of, things that is hidden from the citizen. I can tell you, I doubt if the people at NNPC, and I keep saying this, as far as I'm concerned, NNPCA is like Wando. If you ask me, because they are private company, why are we always giving them preference in everything that they are doing? I don't know, it's as a business entity. They are like the other international company that we're looking at. It's just that government have a stake in them, but that stake does not imply that they have more priority than every other people. So why must they be the one to continue to determine the price and also have sole, access to foreign exchange, even if you must bring in those things? Why don't you have a level playing ground? Since you said you've made them a private company and no longer a government entity like it used to be. I think there are a lot of confusion in oil and gas sector that we are yet to unravel. But for me, I know the day I'm still asking the question, why did we have to wait till the day of first production of Dangote to increase the price of fuel like 100%, from 560 something to like 900, 1,000 plus? It's like 100% increment. Why do we have to wait till that period that we have to? So it's just like, remember what he did with diesel. He came up and the price at which they are selling, he crashed it. Possibly if Dangote saw that okay, it's 560 that they are selling, no problem, I might bring it to like 400. And I like, this will not favor us at the video. I keep telling you, our problem in this country is value. Everybody, if they bring everybody into position today, the first thing, like I saw the viral video of a man saying that somebody was appointed into government and within 1 year, he has 4 houses in Canada. So it's about what is out there for me to get. Even when you are there, your people will say, bros, it's not our own time. Our no come. Let's enjoy the largest. And we must change that orientation. Our value position to say, I am here today. What value am I giving to the people that are around me that I claim I am serving, not to actually use the lot that is coming to them to oppress them.
Very true. Because if we cite examples like when Lee Kuan Yew, came into power, knowing the country that he came from, one of the 3 elements he took care of, the last one particularly, was that he was going to take care of politicians so very well that they wouldn't have interest in the people, and of course he succeeded in it.
He did that.
Yes. So if we could have it here, but the only issue is those that our people are a bit greedy. Even if they're well taken care of, they still want more from the people. Well, let's get into the Daily Trust newspaper today. The big story here says 48 people, 50 cows killed in Niger road accident, and the residents blame speed and bad road for that.
Okay, still on the Daily Trust on the top strip. Opay Moniepoint users kick as federal government imposes electronic levy.
And also on the top strip of the same newspaper, we spend 30,000 naira daily to feed our 9 new babies. That's a father.
Okay, banks colliding with states to bypass fiscal law. That's coming from FRC.
And also on the bottom strip here we have we are owed the 30 months allowances, but the security personnel cry out. Maybe that's the reason why you see the issues of yes, and so many others. But let's get into the big story.
Yeah, here. And that is the Opay Moniepoint users kick as federal government imposes electronic levy.
levy.
Barrister Evans, let me start with you. Why is it that the government, whenever they see, let me say, a business that is thriving and is more especially favoring the masses, they bring up laws, they bring up policies that would want to stifle and bring down such business?
That is, these policies are, they make the business environment very difficult. You will see here and say there's the ease of doing business. But this is not ease of doing business. I think it starts from today at night. Today's night. And that now, even if you are receiving money, they are going to take 10 naira from every.
Well, there's actually a caveat there. It's from 10,000 naira and above.
Yes.
So 50 naira for 10,000 naira and
above. Yes. Whether the caveat or not, you see, that is expensive tax. Okay, that's where we're going to eventually, where every transaction you do, you find tax attached to it, because VAT is actually the goods are specified. The ones that are vatable and the ones not vatable. Many of agricultural produce are not vatable. The ones that are going through processes are vatable and all that. You will know those goods are vatable. But now we're extending tax more because it's actually indirect tax that works in Nigeria. Direct tax, there's a lot of non-compliance. And we don't have the machinery to punish the people. But I think this is the wrong time to come up with this kind of policy. Because we are talking about 15 naira. There are people in this country that have, and they will tell you that you can't just take from them like that. Okay? Yes, because if you go and steal 15 naira in the market now, you know what you will come out with. So this is the time when the citizens are highly disempowered. Disempowered to the extent that some persons are not able to eat. Okay, somebody is talking about 9 children now that you need 30,000 to feed per day. You understand? And so many other stories are there. There's a case I saw on the internet. I've investigated it and they said it was true. The woman had Eba in her plate. She would step out from her house, use the water running on her gutter as soup. She cut the Eba, put there and was eating it.
Really?
You understand? So people have been so, because before now, remember the MBS had released the statistics that over 70% of Nigerians live with less than $1 per day. Before they released the 133 million multidimensional poverty. Before then, they released how we had beat India as poverty capital of the world and all that. So already before the advent of Tinubu, citizens were poor. You understand? And when he came in, he now raised the bar, such that some people are not able to. And that, if you look at between when he came in and now, you see the rate of crime has also increased in terms of kidnapping and insurgency and all that.
Now, this might be satirical. What happens to think of what you can do for your country and not what your country can do for you?
Well, you see, that statement came from an environment that is far different from ours. That environment, if you don't have food, there's a place you can go in the US to get food stamp. And you can use those food stamps in the supermarket. It's like the same as money. The supermarket will gather them to feed, and they'll take it back to government. Government will pay for those people. Because in psychology, it is said that survival is the greatest instinct in man. Once your ability to survive is threatened, even with the best kind of upbringing and character and disposition and learning, you can commit crime. You can steal. You can take something that does not belong to you just to survive. So in those countries, in order for people not to get to that level where they are, continuous existence is threatened, okay, they are facing existential crisis, they created that leveler. You understand? They created that leveler that everybody should be able to, eat. And in some countries, when you are hungry, you walk up to a policeman and tell him that you are hungry. The policeman will take you to where you will get soft drink and snacks from the government. But if you walk up to a policeman and hear that you are hungry, he will just take you to Elysium. He will send you to where you should be. Okay, so we don't have that. So why should you tax the people? Because these fintechs, they are actually the ones that are skewed towards the masses, the lowest kidder, because they are fintech, they are fast, they are reliable. You know, they can come to your house to ask you to open an account, to help you open an account. You can save as little as 10,000 naira, 5,000 naira, and you know, keep up with it. Okay, now you are now charging them. Okay, I also learned that the mobile networks are also going to increase tariff soon. Okay, but is it the right time to do this? That's why we keep talking about this government. This government don't have tact. They have no system. They have no method. You do not see, because before now you anticipate credit alerts. Okay, but now they are telling you that when it comes into your phone, they're going to take part of it. For what exactly?
All right. So let's talk about, you are the numbers person, and I'd love to ask you, let's try as much as we can not to be emotional but rational here, given what it takes to run a country like ours, over 200 million people. You know, when you equal that to what we are contributing, do you think it's right for us to give a little bit of ourselves in order to see the country work? And if you get into this particular story, in the last 6 months, Moniepoint and other fintechs have been able to contribute about 78 billion naira in 6 months for the country. Now, with that and so many, do you think it's good enough to do that so we can have a sustainable economy?
Yeah, I'm yet to digest that story. I was trying to read through on the charges of this 50 naira. Well, I know for the conventional banking, we have this stamp duty that we pay.
57 naira, right?
53 naira,
53.
75 kobo. You know, the 50 naira plus the issue of VAT on it. I don't know if that is applicable to the fintech company, if that's what they are introducing in another form. Or
For the fintechs, yeah.
Because I've not really studied that to see, but I know there is a stamp duty charge on every of those lodgement and withdrawal that we make with the traditional banking. You see, so whatever position we want to put in place, I will always say, let's have clarity of some of these things when you're actually putting them out there to remove this skepticism of things that you don't even have intention of doing. And you are now giving tall order for people to be correcting an impression that is not. Because I don't use some of those fintech companies. I may not be able to allude to the fact whether the conventional charge that we get from the traditional banking, they are actually charging them. So if it's not applicable to them, maybe that is an area where they are coming in for them to have it. But be it as it may, we have said that you can't continue continuously to be generating revenue without having so much impact. You know, from the people you are getting the revenue from. The organization that are paying so much tax are still using their own personal money to actually renovate. We don't have so much tax credits on their part. There should be a position where you say, okay, this infrastructure that you're actually putting up in your locality, in your area, there's going to be a tax, holiday for you to be able to fix it, so that people in your, aside your CSR that you will do, people in your environment can have a feel of what they are doing. But it's not. I can tell you that an average businessman is not finding it funny, in the sense that practically every cost that you have in your operation is on the high side. You know, Barrister Ofili said something that the telcos are going to increase their own tariff very soon. It is. I have some business contract with them. Before now, we know what electricity, energy plays a key role in telcos. And the cost of energy as we speak is actually sending them. I know of an organization that actually retrenched not too long, massively, because of the cost of operation. Because energy is key. A lot of them, what they pay for to have access to electricity on the so-called band A is becoming unbearable for them to sustain their operation. And when you look at the cost of diesel vis-a-vis where they are not getting those access to it, It's really not it. So that they are going to increase the tariff, I tell everyone that gets to listen that as a businessman, you don't blame someone. It's what you giving, you take. And that's why most of the time we'll beg the government. If you are increasing anything, you are not actually disturbing those business owners. They will survive it because those costs will be transferred to the consumer. As it is, a lot. I don't know if you've observed the level at which our networks operate these days. It's been very terrible.
Yeah,
there is load shedding. You know, they do load shedding in power. Now they do load shedding in telecoms. At times they give you access to internet in this area. They don't do it in that area because they need to actually maintain balance of what they are doing. So government needs to be sensitive to some of these plans. You might think that you are putting burden on the business owner. They transfer that cost. No business owner wants to absorb because they transfer it to the consumer. This increase in the fuel cost will definitely affect the deliverable. A lot of them cannot increase salary, but they are actually reducing the working hour of the staff. Is that not impacting on the productivity of that organization? On the long run, the bottom line will definitely be impacted. These are things we expect the government to think through when you are coming up with policy, thinking that the only area of focus should be, we've said it, rather than you generating more revenue, relieve the people that are actually carrying out that business so that they can invariably pay more taxes to you for you to generate your revenue, not imposing more taxes to the fewer that are actually contributing to the bottom line. I think that's the area.
And that's actually the difference between first world countries and third world countries. Okay. You see, when I went to the US this year, at the early part of this year, and my host told me that this particular bottle, this gallon of milk, have been that $5.02 for the past 11 years. 11 years.
So it's been subsidized or something?
That milk. No, see what they do. You don't keep the prices of goods and services fluctuating because it will give you a serious issue on inflation. What you need to do, sometimes you will see discourse on the price of chocolate. You will see government, they'll be having meetings from purchase and supply, from the economic side, from the political side. You will see them discussing it. You understand? And then they will call town hall meetings. People will come. They will be you'll be wondering, it's not just price of chocolate. But the truth is that if you do it arbitrary, if you just you don't wake up and you won't win the next election. So they are so careful about those tables that you must do the right thing. You must ensure that when you want to increase it, there must be awareness. And that awareness you must prove to the people. And you must let them understand that the cost of production, even from the farm, and the movement of it from one point to this and other, they will need and their increase is not usually more than 4 cents, 2-3 cents. That's how they increase. You understand? But here, you just wake up one morning, they tell you that the price of fuel is now 800 rand. It doesn't see what you have done. Like he said, you are not punishing the manufacturer or the producer or the whoever it is. You are punishing the citizen because they will transfer. And when they transfer it, the value of things in the market will also go up. Everything will be skyrocketing. You will not be able to keep up with your inflation rate. And that's exactly what I'm saying. It's peculiar to third world countries. These third world countries should look at how first world countries manage their economy and manage the prices of goods and services. That is the only way that you can keep the citizens sane. When you see this rat race we're on, we will get to a point where half of your citizens will have been impoverished.
But how
will not allow the ones that are still
having
to sleep.
Thank you, Barrister Evans Opay, and thank you, Mr. Sheson. Thank you. We have to call it a wrap at this point. Thank you.
All right, that's just about the time we have, and I wanted to ask. You see, I'm actually wondering why we have not, found it easy to understand when the president, prior to his election, said he was going to enlarge the tax bracket and also reduce the purchasing power of Nigerians. So it's built to understand.
Now.
But do you think there's an economic explanation to all of that?
I don't know. I'm not an economist. All I know is that I'm not able to
Even for the economics, they cannot even provide the answer to
They cannot provide answer. They're the one that told us about market forces, and nothing is doing anything.
Okay.
We are not anywhere.
All right. So we now we want to have a wrap for this particular segment, and have to let Brother Vance Ofeli go. We hope we'll be able to lay hold of you virtually if you give us your time.
Thank you. Anytime.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Aye.
And when we return, Tinubu's spokesman Ajuru Ngelale resigns, but not many believe he did so purely for family health problems as he claimed. Stay with us.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.